Hello, Madison Shakespeare here. Another quick yarn with you about another strategic approach toward climate custodianship. Knowing what's in your backyard can be of incredible benefit, particularly in reducing the effects of bushfire. Understanding whether plants that are native to your area fuel or retard fire can be incredibly beneficial in ensuring that bushfires that approach your property may not actually gain additional thermal heat strength. What I'm wanting to look at today will be two different categories of native plants that may well reduce the heat of bushfires and of burning. First of all, we're going to consider fire retardant plants that will not burn in the face of ongoing continued flame. This is not to say that if there's a fire approaching that has incredibly strong thermal heat, as we saw in past catastrophic fires across Australia, that these fires will not burn anything and everything in their wake. In fact, they do. But what we're looking at doing is strategically and incrementally ensuring that we set up systems across country, throughout Australia, on everybody's property, to ensure that there is the least possibility, that there is reduced possibility of hot burn. Now, previously I've spoken about protecting your property by doing things like clearing your gutters, reducing foliage, dry plant material around your property. Well, the planting of fire retardant native plants specific to your area may well strategically support the other efforts that you make to reduce catastrophic fires affecting your block and indeed your property. So when looking at two different categories of native fire retardant plants, I'd like to consider, to begin with, one category of fire retardant native plants that will not burn in the face of continued fire and flame. So in essence, it's the strongest guard, in a sense, in terms of fire retardant plants, because they're plants with a propensity to stand up against fire. And it's really important to do further research and inform yourselves of what is native, what is specific to your place on country, where you are, because these types of plants vary around Australia. But I'd like to give you an idea of some plants that have been proven to be retardant to continued flame. A number of the salt bushes, which are readily available, they can be ordered at local nurseries. Even some Bunnings shops will order in different types of salt bush for you. So, for instance, Host salt bush, slender fruit salt bush, old man salt bush. As I said, many of these varieties are available. Other types of plants like emu bush, blue bush, cotton bush, there's a number of different types of succulent type plants as well that can be planted to retard fire. Things like June fanflower, pigface is another example. There's a second category of plants that are somewhat retardant to fire. These plants don't burn as readily as dry material on first wave of bushfire. But if they are exposed to that first wave and they dry out, then they will burn. So they are not as retardant. These plants include a variety of different types of wattle. And as I said, it's important to ensure place-based specificities in terms of species. But to give you some examples, boxleaf wattle, knife leaf wattle, western coastal wattle, silver wattle, early black wattle, cedar wattle, and the list goes on. Also, Moreton Bay fig. And if you're on the East Coast, and particularly in New South Wales, you'll find many examples of Moreton Bay fig. Some spotted gum, rough tree fern, a variety of flax lilies, so small flower flax lily, swamp flax lily, pale flax lily. And for those who like exploring bush tucker plants, large kangaroo apple. And indeed, lily pilly. Again, another plant that you will find all down and throughout the east coast of Australia. These are some examples of plants native to Australia with fire retardant properties. Strategically, many are now planting perimeters around their house, their houses, their dwellings of fire retardant plants, clearing their property of undergrowth, that dense foliage that could potentially fuel hot burns. This again is one of the strategic approach toward climate custodianship. If we look after country, it always looks after us. Thank you.